Okay, so this is a video response to Jace's video that he did on where being transgender starts. Does it start, is it a mind thing or a body thing? And I'm going to start this off with a disclaimer that this is, like I said, a video response to Jace. It's meant as a means of discussion and pseudo-argument for the sake of intellectual discussion. I'm only speaking from my point of view, and I don't claim this to be the viewpoint of, the transgender community as a whole, or even that any other trans person has these same viewpoints. So that being said, the first thing that I want to discuss is what I know that has been discovered as some of the theoretical causes as to why an individual may self-identify as transgender. There are a few things that research has pointed to, and one of the most popular theories is that it happens in utero. Little biology lesson here. We are all female until somewhere between the 6th and 8th week of the gestational period, and it is at that point in the gestational period that the hormone levels in utero and in the mother's bloodstream can cause the fetus to develop physically male or physically female, no matter the genetic predisposition. If your XY and the estrogen and estradiol progesterone levels are too high, it's possible that you will develop physically female. Whereas if you are genetically female and the testosterone levels are too high in utero or the mother's bloodstream, you could develop physically male. Prior to the 6 to 8 week mark where gonadal differentiation occurs, the hormone levels in utero and in the mother's bloodstream can and often do affect the formation of the brain. Once again, any extreme variation in the hormone levels in that environment can cause a genetic male or genetic female brain to develop other than something, standard male, standard female. And that much I do know for a fact, but I suppose if you were one of those people who subscribes to the gender spectrum idea, it's possible that the hormone levels could affect where on that spectrum you see yourself, but that's just, a personal potential theory. There's also the genetic component of XXY. And, some of those people turn out male, some of them turn out female. I don't know much about that, so I can't speak much to that effect. Jace mentioned that you talked about tweaking the brain to make it right. Rather than tweaking the brain to match the anatomical gender, how about the idea of tweaking the conditions in utero to correctly match the genetic predisposition? I mentioned the gender spectrum, and I may be going on a short tangent here, but it's probably a good time to point out my view on the gender spectrum. I, for myself, subscribe to the more, common gender binary, male and female, but I respect that many people view gender as a spectrum and see themselves, somewhere on that, not anywhere on it at all. So if you subscribe to that, tweaking the brain isn't likely to fix any issues there, because if you see yourself as neither fully male or neither fully female, there's not much you can do to correct that. You can only live where you feel most comfortable. So, my other argument here is that, let's say, you found a way to fix the brain so people would be, content with their birth genders. But who's to say that they want to be, fixed? Some people really enjoy their gender variant identity. So that, it's a good idea, but perhaps not everybody would want to be corrected, So that brings up the argument of at what point is it fair to correct it? So, and on that same note of, correcting, gender identity issues, for me personally, if I think about it, I'm not exactly sure that I would want it to be fixed. As much trouble as, it can be and has been to be trans, it's taught me a lot of things that I wouldn't have known otherwise had I not embarked upon this journey. And it's definitely caused me to find an inner strength that even I didn't know I had. And this part is just for the sake of argumentative discussion. You made the comment that we will never be happy in our bodies. And while I do understand what you meant, in that some or many of us will never be in the anatomically correct body we feel we should be in, a lot of trans people find happiness within their bodies through, some procedures, all procedures, no procedures, whatever. For example, I know that I will never have the anatomically correct body that I want. It's not possible. But I strive to find a way to be happy and at peace with my body at some point in the future. When that is, I don't know. It may take time for me to learn, what that means for me to personally be happy, or what it will take for me to personally be happy. But I refuse to accept the notion that I will never feel comfortable in my own skin. So that's my thoughts on it. Anybody that has any other thoughts is more than welcome to join the discussion. Jace, if you have any, thoughts and responses, I'd love to hear them. So until then, I'll catch y'all later. Alright, bye.